This is a Hot Pie Media original.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the DNP-CD Sports Podcast presented by Oddshark. I'm Chad Fisher alongside my co-host, Mr. Tony Farmer. How you doing, brother?
Doing good. What are you up to, man?
Just chilling, man. Been a good weekend.
Yeah, well, I'm a Michigan fan. I guess.
Dude.
I guess you're doing pretty well.
Good ass weekend, man.
Two in a row. Two good ass weekends in a row for Michigan.
Hey, it took me until about Thursday to come down off of that Ohio State win, and I'm still not. After you left my house last night, I turned the game back on.
How many times have you watched that Ohio State game?
I think I'm on my fifth rewatch.
This is cool. So Michigan's got a 5-game win streak versus Ohio State in your mind.
We're just killing it, man. We're just killing it. We're just fucking just taking over the rivalry right now, you know?
You know the sad part, though? Even if you were to count all of those games as wins and have a 5-game win streak, you're still like down for the last decade.
Why you got to say shit like that? You know? Why you got to say shit like that? Hey, we're just making up. You know, we dominated the 90s, you know, then it was their turn.
There you go.
You know, they might have been assisted by some cheating, you know, for a while there, which Ohio State is wont to do. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
Every I think it's a prerequisite when you sign a contract there. You have to be willing to cheat your ass off. Now with NIL and everything like that, it's a little bit more difficult, which is funny. But no, man, it's been great. It's Michigan came out and beat the hell out of Iowa. It was a game for about a half, I guess you could say, and then. You know, Michigan was smart. They didn't turn the ball over. They were, you know, deep in their own territory for seemingly the entire second quarter. And I know a lot of Michigan fans were getting frustrated, wanting them to open up, but that's how you let Iowa back in the game, man. So that's how they win. And so they were smart, just ran the ball until the field position switched, and then they took advantage in the second half and just started beating that ass. So
yeah, and the college football landscape right now is a lot of fun. This is a great time of year for college football because we're really narrowing down the field. We know who the teams are going to be that are going to be playing in these important bowl games, and it's going to be a blast, man.
Yeah, man, it's good to have some parity for a change, man. You know, we still got Alabama and Georgia in the finals in the college football playoff, but Cincinnati and Michigan, two teams that haven't been in there ever before. So
yeah, it's
going to be awesome, man. It's going to be an awesome semifinal matchup. I think that Cincinnati's going to give Alabama a game. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm tripping. I was talking to Colton, our producer, before this show started. And I would say that this is probably the worst Alabama team we've seen in the last 5 years, at least. You know what I mean? That's not saying much. They're still got littered with 5 stars. They just lost one of their best receivers, but now they're down to like five-star wide receivers on their team. But who knows, man? It could be interesting. I like where Michigan's at right now, man. They're playing the best ball of the year.
Yeah.
It feels like they can beat you anyway. You know, Iowa stacked the box and brought 8-9 guys up into the box and dared them to throw. And K. McNamara is not Joe Montana, but he's able to get it done when he needs to, and he did. Had some trick plays. Donovan Edwards threw a long touchdown pass. We had touchdowns on 2 consecutive plays, which was the longest run Iowa had given up all year and the longest pass they'd given up all year on consecutive plays for touchdowns.
Nice.
So it was awesome, man. I'm still really excited about this. I like our chances, man. I know we're heavy underdogs in that semifinal matchup against Georgia, but I like the way we stack up against Georgia. I think they're a much better Iowa team in terms of they can run the ball. They got a great defense, but you saw what Michigan did to that defense, and you saw what Alabama did to that defense. Georgia is a paper tiger, in my opinion. I don't want to say too much. They could still beat Michigan, of course, but they're a paper tiger, man. They haven't played anybody all year. I was just talking earlier, you know, the rivalry game is Georgia Tech. Like,
right.
Who's Georgia? You don't have a rival. Like, who the hell are you? You know what I mean? That's their number one rival. They didn't play anybody tough. The toughest team they played all year, I think, was Clemson. Week 1, they won 10-3, and they haven't really beat anybody, man. So I'm not super afraid of them. Obviously, I don't want to play Alabama in the first round. But it's nice, man. Regardless of what happens, we've had a great season. No one saw this shit coming, man. And Jim Harbaugh's back for sure.
You talk about the parity, and what I think is going to be interesting is if Cincinnati or Michigan can come through and win this whole thing, how that's going to change the recruiting landscape. You know, if you're coming out of high school, it's almost like a guarantee you're going to look at one of those big 4 schools, right? Clemson, Alabama, Georgia, et cetera. And now, all of a sudden, maybe we're starting to see the dam break a little bit.
Yeah.
And a couple more of these schools creep in there.
Yep.
And then when a couple more creep in, more will follow. And maybe we're starting, this is the start of the parity process.
I could not agree more, man. And I think we're seeing the end of Clemson. They just lost their famed defensive coordinator. He went to Oklahoma, and he's now the head coach, Brett Venables, who's been there forever, it seems like. and maybe now Clemson's going to drop off, and hopefully Alabama. I mean, they're going to be good as long as Nick Saban's there and everything. Sure. But Ohio State, they've already lost. They've lost a lot of recruits already. They lost their number one quarterback, who was from our neck of the woods here in Texas. He just transferred out. Quinn Ewers. We talked about him with Joe Pompliano on our show.
Yep.
Made over $1 million by taking 2 snaps, I think, all season long.
Not bad.
He's transferring. They're still in good shape with C.J. Stroud, but one thing we found out about C.J. Stroud in that game is something he's going to have to change going into next year because they got the blueprint on him now. If you pressure him, he throws off his back foot all the time and his passes sail on him. He still threw for damn near 300 yards in that game against Michigan, but they didn't run the ball. And Michigan was able to control that. And it was actually an ass whooping if you think about it, because Michigan would have kept scoring. It wouldn't have mattered. 42 points. They could have scored 60 if the game went on a little bit longer, honestly. Scored in every possession in the second half. So, yeah, man, I think the tide is changing, man. I think the tide is turning, man. I think Jim Harbaugh, we've already gotten some big-time recruits since that game. We've gotten a couple big-time top 200 players. And I think we're just going to keep on seeing that. I think Michigan, depending on what happens, we win the national championship, big changes coming in college football. Sure. So it's awesome, man.
And for those of you playing a drinking game out there, every time Chad says Michigan, go ahead and take a shot.
You're going to be drunk by the end of this.
Pretty messed up by the end of this.
By the end of the segment, you're going to be drunk. I don't give a shit, Jim Harbaugh, man. Yeah. Pound one for Jimmy Harbaugh, man. He deserves it. It's great to have him back.
I love it.
There was a clip towards the end of the Iowa game. We're up 35-3, and Michigan kept their foot on the gas, and there was a clip that someone posted that shows Jim Harbaugh saying it into his whatever the hell it was, that
the microphone
into his headset. He said, "We got the chance for the number 1 seed, so let's keep scoring."
Oh, you could read his lips?
Yeah, you can read his lips. He said, "We got the chance," so they added another touchdown to make it 42-3.
That's a long sentence to lip read. We sure it's accurate?
No, he said we got a chance for the number 1 seed. That's what they got. So
damn.
They kept the foot on the gas, scored another touchdown, made it 42-3. Just straight up ass whooping, man. It's so good. Dude, last time Michigan won the Big Ten, I was like 2 years out of high school. You know what I mean? So,
damn,
I could have a kid in high school now. You know what I'm saying? So, great day to be a Michigan fan.
Absolutely. And we're going to talk about these semifinal matchups from a betting perspective. And oh God, what a great weekend we got coming up, man.
Yeah, man, we got some awesome shit going
NFL
on
as well.
We got bowl season starting here soon. Here in a couple of weeks, we're going to have some good matchups there. It's going to be awesome, man. You want to do the college football betting?
Yeah, let's start with college football, then we'll wrap up with our NFL picks.
Well, obviously, we're going to start with the college football playoff. These are the most important games, the really only meaningful games left in the season here. Georgia at Michigan. Start with that game. Michigan's going to be the home team. This is going to be in Miami. Was kind of hoping it would be in Dallas. I probably wasn't going to go, but it'd have been nice anyways. But Georgia is opened as a 7-point favorite. I want to tell people, if you're listening to this, you need to jump on this right the hell now. They opened as a 7-point favorite. I thought this was going to go down. I thought it'd be closer to like 4.5. It still could be by the time New Year's Eve rolls around. But they opened as a 7-point favorite. You go to oddshark.com, our lead sponsor here. You can see all the numbers, all the lines across about 7 or 8 different betting sites. And it's anywhere from, dude, this is crazy, anywhere from 7.5 to 9.
Yeah, that's quite a spread. That's
I can't believe that, considering Michigan's playing as well as they are, and Georgia hasn't beat anybody and just got their asses beat by 2 touchdowns against Alabama. They did not look like the number 1 defense in the country. But then again, when you're playing Georgia Tech and Vanderbilt,
to your point,
every week you're going to look pretty damn good. I would jump on this right the hell now, man. There's a couple different sites here. It's got Georgia -9. I'm going to jump on that as soon as we get done with this segment, dude. I didn't know it was that high. So, I can't imagine Georgia beating the hell out of Michigan. Michigan's been in every game this year. The one game we did lose was to Michigan State, and that was a terribly officiated game. The officials have come back and said that they made massive mistakes in that game that would have really opened that shit up big time. But I'm obviously taking Michigan here. There's no way in hell they're getting beat by more than 9 points. I think that Michigan's going to win that game. I'd put some money on Michigan on the money line there as well.
A money line and a little parlay would be nice. Boost that sucker up a little bit. I like it.
Let's see what the money line is. Michigan, anywhere from, it started at 230 plus 230. Now it's up to 260, 265 in some places. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put
some money on that. I like it.
Yeah, put $20 or $30 down.
Chad, let me ask you an ignorant question for someone who doesn't follow college football as closely as you do. You're not more of an NFL guy. So every year when we have these bowl games, a lot of guys are sitting out because they want to protect their draft status for next year. Does that happen in these semifinals?
Not in the semifinals games. No.
Is there any precedent for that whatsoever?
I don't think I've ever seen that. Okay. You know what I mean? And you're going to see that. Well, there's already the guy from Oregon, Thibodeau, has already announced that he's not going to play in their bowl game. Their coach up and left, so I don't really blame him there. He's going to be probably a top 5 pick in the draft.
So if you're making bets on any of these games,
the bowl games, definitely check that out.
Make sure you know who's sitting out and then who's their backup. Who's sitting out and who's their backup. If someone's sitting out and they're like an A+ player and they're being replaced with an A- player, that's no big deal. But if you got someone being replaced by a freshman who's never started before at right tackle or some shit like that, then that could have a huge impact on the game. The other thing I'll say, and I said it a couple weeks ago, but it bears repeating, keep an eye on the weather. In these outdoor bowl games and in the NFL as well. We just hit an under Monday night on the Patriots-Bills game. I threw that out on my Twitter. I said go under 41. The closing line was like 39.5, and it was way under both of those.
24,
so it was way under. Easy win, no sweat. You got to keep an eye on the weather, and this is a really important differentiation. Don't worry quite as much about rain, and don't worry quite as much about snow. It's really the wind once it gets over 15 miles per hour. As you saw in that Patriots-Bills game, the field looked okay. If it wasn't for the wind, you'd think the conditions were fine. But when you got guys not able to make field goals or not even able to attempt field goals or extra points because the wind's so bad, or more importantly, the ball being affected when the ball's thrown and quarterbacks not throwing the ball. Mac Jones had three attempts in that game because the wind was so bad. And so that's easy money, guys. That's easy money when you can get ahead of the weather report on these things. But again, don't focus on the precipitation, focus on the wind. And that's what the stats say. That's when the unders start to hit.
Yeah, we're not going to have that problem when these college football playoff games. The Georgia-Michigan game is going to be in Miami.
Yep.
And then Cincinnati-Alabama is going to be in Dallas, and that's a dome stadium. I was a little disappointed they didn't open up the dome for that Oklahoma State Big 12 championship game. 72 degrees in Dallas. Open up the damn stadium. This is one thing I get tired of, man, too, is like these bowl games and these college football playoff games. They're always in domes, man. I want to see it outside. I want to see some of these games played in northern cities. The championship game, the national championship game is going to be in Indianapolis, but it's in a dome. You know what I mean? So it was hilarious. There's a lot of Ohio State fans talking shit after Michigan beat that ass and said, oh, you know, it was snowing and all this other stuff, and we'd have played in a neutral site in a dome, we would have won all this. And I'm like, oh, that's so cute. You guys can't play in snow? Oh, that's adorable. You can't play football in snow. Holy shit, it's December, jackass. The fuck are you talking about?
You bring up a good point. You'd think they'd want to be outdoors. There's a word that I can't say on this show, otherwise we might get censored. But given the climate of people wanting to be outdoors and mask wearing, things of that nature, you would think that these stadiums would be incentivized to make it outdoors so that it would be more safe. So it's interesting when decisions are made to actually keep it in a dome when the weather is okay outside.
Yeah, that
seems silly to me.
Come on, it's football, man. It needs to be outside. Yeah, come on, this is bullshit. That's why I am happy Michigan's playing in Miami, so we'll get some natural field and everything. It's not that turf bullshit. All right, support for the DNP-CD Sports Podcast is brought to you by Manscaped. They're the best in men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th-generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for our listeners. You're going to get 20% off and free worldwide shipping when you enter the promo code DNP at manscaped.com.
It's the holiday season too, man.
You got to.
This is the time to do it. Get it for your loved ones for sure.
If you're you got a boyfriend, a husband, you know what I'm saying, it's got a little too much bushes down there. You want to get that taken care of, man, because you never feel more confident and sexy, man, when you're nice, sleek, trimmed, and everything like that, man.
It's true.
I know that after I use Manscaped, I don't even put drawers on afterwards, man. I just start walking around the house just, trying to entice my girl just a little bit. Hey, I don't know if you saw this fresh, clean booty back here.
Bending over to pick stuff up.
Yeah. She's like, wow, his butt is like really, really smooth. I'm like, yeah, I've been using Manscaped a little bit.
People don't know. We are some of the first people to get the 4.0 and actually test it out. The thing's got like a headlight on it. Mm-hmm. It's waterproof. It's really, really cool. And it's a shave like you've never had before, for real.
Yeah, it's not, man. A lot of times with other razors and trimmers, you get a lot of nicks and cuts and everything like that. I didn't have any with Manscaped, man. Yeah. It was perfect for me. A lot of times, man, there's been times before I used trimmers and you'll nick your balls, man. You know what I'm saying? Then you start thinking.
Something people don't talk about, but it's a real thing.
Yeah, it is, dude. And it hurts like hell for days, man. Yeah. It hurts to sit. It hurts all this stuff. It hurts to be intimate. You know what I'm saying? You got someone just tugging on your junk and you got like a little nick down there, man. Start thinking you got your period a little earlier or something like that. I don't know if can I borrow a tampon, babe? You know what I'm saying? Because I done nicked my balls. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to do that. The Lawnmower 4.0 even allows you to customize your trim through additional guard lengths with sizes 1 through 4. So you don't got to a lot of people think, oh, you get Manscaped, it's got to be all the way down to the skin. You don't have to do that, man. There's different guard lengths. So you can do whatever size you want, whatever hair length you want. If you've been shaving with the same nut trimmer on your face, that's gross. You've been doing it wrong. No person wants to end up with pubes in their mouth. I mean, I know a few people that don't mind it. You know what I'm saying? But me personally, I don't want that.
No,
you know what I'm saying? No. And you do start doing that. You start using the same one on your face. It smells a little funky, dog. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You start, bang. Is that my upper lip? No, dog. That's your ball trimmer. You need to get something different. You should be using the same thing on your face as you do your balls, man. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you got to get Manscaped. The Lawnmower 4.0. We're, like we said, one of the first people to try this out. It's awesome. Yeah. We love it. Could not recommend it more highly. It's time to get your own ball hair and body trimmer with Manscaped to make me time the best time and enhance your confidence with some nice, smooth boys. Like we said, you're going to get 20% off and free shipping worldwide when you enter the promo code DNP, as in did not play, at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. Trust me, they will. And your girl will too.
Indeed.
And somebody else's girl.
Or your boy, whatever you're into.
Or your boy. Or someone else's wife. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Exactly, who knows? However you get down. That's not my business. Exactly. It's not Manscaped's business. They don't care. They just want you to feel nice and clean.
Exactly.
Yeah. Obviously, the other college football playoff game, semifinal, Cincinnati versus Alabama. Cincinnati's the 4 seed. Alabama's the 1 seed. It's lined opened at 13.5 for Alabama, and it stayed right around there, somewhere up to 14.5. I'm actually going to take Cincinnati here. Obviously, Alabama is a great school. I think Cincinnati is going to come in fired up, ready to play. I'm not going to say they're going to win, but I think they can keep it within 2 touchdowns for sure.
Yeah, if you're shopping around, make sure you get that hook on the 14.5. This is why it's so important to use OddsShark. Great resource to see that, these lines are different. They're going to change, between now and the time that you actually listen to this. Make sure you get that 14.5. That's a big difference in a game like that.
And a money line for Cincinnati, 410, 380, 410, 435 in one place. So if you want to get ballsy and throw some money down on Cincinnati on the money line, that would be an awesome bet.
How about a Cincinnati, Michigan money line parlay?
Oh, shit, man. Yeah. That would be awesome. You make some money there.
Yeah.
And buying drinks for everybody after that. For sure. But we'll get into some bowl games probably next week once we, those are the most important games. Those lines just came out. I want to watch. If I'm you, if you're betting, obviously watch those lines. I think that Michigan line is going to shrink. So if you want to get on that, I would jump on that as soon as possible.
Yeah.
There's eventually going to be some big money placed on Michigan. They're just way too good and playing way too well right now for that to remain an 8-point spread.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about the bowl games too soon and then have we tell you, oh yeah, we really like this line. It's plus 10. And then we line with 4 starters on the offensive line are sitting out to protect their draft status. And then all of a sudden we look silly. So we're going to talk about it when it's a lot more time applicable. Yeah, so we'll wait a couple weeks before we get into that. But those are 2 big games. Those are got, John Mechie is going to be out for Alabama. He tore his ACL, one of their best receivers. We know that for a fact. Everybody else should be playing unless, barring some injuries, unfortunate injuries during practice or what have you over the next 3 weeks. But those are the big games, man. And we'll talk about some other college football bowl games in the next week or so, next coming weeks as well. My alma mater, Ball State.
Yeah, who they playing?
Yeah, they're playing Georgia State.
Oh, that's
in the Crampton Bowl.
The Crampton Bowl. No one even knows what the fuck a Crampton is, man.
I have no idea what that's advertising
Crampton.
for. I got no idea what's going on there.
Crampton.
Chirp, chirp to Ball State.
I think it's
baby.
for period pills or something.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
Are you tired of cramps? Get Crampton.
That'd be hilarious, man.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, we'll have to look that up and see what that's all about.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we're going to get into NFL.
Yeah, baby.
And obviously we're using oddshark.com for all these numbers. Got to go there to make sure you're getting the best line, getting the best number, because these numbers vary across all these different sites. So that's why you want to go to oddshark.com, make sure you're getting the best number. Let's start with the Thursday night game.
All right, Thursday night, we've got the Vikings, and the Vikings are playing the Steelers. Vikings are coming off a loss to the Steelers. A lot of people didn't see that coming. They were a 7-point favorite heading into that game. Did I say that? Oh, my bad. Yeah, to the Lions. Lions got their first win of the game, and they were 7-point favorites in that game. So they're coming off a big disappointment. I love taking teams in situations like this where you can kind of buy low on them.
Pittsburgh was that team last week,
Exactly.
Who ended up beating Baltimore, coming off a very disappointing loss.
Yep, and I was on Pittsburgh when a lot of people weren't, and I took that 4.5, and I was feeling really good about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. I like the Vikings here again. Ben looked a lot better last week, didn't he? He looked a little bit better, but still a struggle.
Yeah.
If you agree with me and you like the Vikings, try to get it at -3. I do not like it at -3.5. I'll tell you that. So if you like the Steelers, obviously shop around for the 3.5. That hook is important. We talk about all the time on this show how 15% of NFL games are decided by exactly 3 points. That's why that big difference between 3 and 3.5 and 2.5 and 3.
Yeah.
I like the Vikings here. The Steelers are getting healthy on defense. So I think it's probably going to be a lower scoring game than people think. But I definitely like the Vikings to win outright and cover the 3 points.
Yeah, I like Minnesota at home as well. Make sure you get that 3, though,
Yeah, for sure. Hey, following up real quick back to college football. A parlay, $100 on Michigan and Cincinnati money lines. $100 wins $1,652.
Damn.
So that's pretty sweet to get 16.5-1 odds on that parlay there. So that's certainly worth a little sprinkle. But next up, we've got Seattle at Houston. Seattle's getting 7.5 points as the favorite here. On the road, Seattle's coming off a big upset against the 49ers, a game that was originally supposed to be a primetime game and got flexed out of it, but it turned out to be a damn good game.
Yeah, it did.
That game was interesting. Interesting to say the least. I was on the wrong side of that. I really thought the 49ers were going to win that game. 49ers offense looked bad without Deebo Samuel. Seattle, I can't figure them out, man.
Well, Russell Wilson hasn't been healthy this year. Maybe he's finally getting healthy. That's why you saw them win last week. But
when they looked at the timetable for that injury, the mallet finger that he had on his throwing hand, the last week, I think it was like 4 to 6 weeks. I think whatever the timetable was, the last week was when they played this weekend. So in theory, that was the first game that he was truly fully healthy.
Yeah.
And he certainly did look improved. Seattle's offensive line did not look good. But then again, I don't really see anybody on Houston's defense that's going to challenge that offensive line and give them fits. Seattle does have an outside chance of making the playoffs. So whenever I handicap these games, I always look at kind of the motivation factor. And I think Seattle has the big advantage here in the motivation factor, because while they are on the outside looking in, they do have a path to the playoffs, and Houston has no path whatsoever. So I could see Pete Carroll rallying the troops and getting them motivated. Hey, if you guys went out, you can make the playoffs. Let's do it. And especially coming off that big divisional win against the 49ers. I like Seattle to win outright. What I really like here is Seattle teased a lot, from 7.5 down to 1.5 and a 6-point teaser. If you want to be a little more conservative, you can make it a 6.5-point teaser and make it Seattle -1. But Seattle teased is probably going to be the most popular teaser play of the week.
Yeah, I like Seattle too, but I don't like that 7.5.
Yeah,
I would do the teaser, or I would get a Houston to cover that.
Yeah, I'm not touching that point spread, but teasing it down, I love it. Seattle has a propensity the last couple of years. I think it's Pete Carroll, Russ Wilson, to play in really close games. So I don't generally like them to cover big numbers, especially on the road. Next up, we've got Jacksonville at Tennessee. The Titans are coming off a bye, so they've got a little bit extra rest. Jacksonville's coming off an ass whooping at the hand of the Rams. And Tennessee's favored by 8.5 here, 9 in some places as well. Not a huge difference between 8.5 and 9, but obviously shop around still. I do like Tennessee here to cover. Jacksonville's a joke, Chad. We've talked about Urban Meyer several times. I don't know if you saw this. So James Robinson, Jacksonville's probably best player on offense, arguably besides Trevor Lawrence. He's definitely their best weapon on offense. He's hurt, and everybody knows he's hurt, and everybody knows he's gutting it out. And any normal coach, when you're getting your ass whooped by the Rams, you'd pull out your players that are playing through injuries when you're down by 25 points or whatever they were down. He's still giving Robinson carries in that situation. And he was asked about it after the game, and the reporters are like, basically, why did you do that? And he's like, yeah, I agree with you. I shouldn't have done that. So one, I do appreciate that he's admitting it, because there are a lot of pro coaches who would
dig their heels in.
Exactly.
He's still a dumbass, dude. He's overmatched, and for him to be one of the highest paid coaches in the NFL is a fucking joke, dude.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
A joke.
Couldn't agree more. So I do trust the 8.5. I like it teased down even more. Great teaser play, you guys. These first two right off the bat, first two Sunday games, Seattle and Tennessee. Tease them both down underneath 3. That's a great 2-team 6-point teaser right there. That's money. I like that one a lot. Next up, Las Vegas getting 9.5 points on the road in Kansas City. The Raiders play the Chiefs tough. Even when the Chiefs have been dominant, like last year, the Raiders have always played them tough. Kansas City, I do think they're for real now. I think that defense is playing way better. They have been for over a month now. The offense has started to click the last couple weeks. I definitely like Vegas here to cover. I love divisional dogs getting that many points.
Yeah, it's on the road. I agree with you, man. Is this another teaser opportunity? Get that down to like 2.5?
Well, not right. You could on a 7-point teaser, but those just don't pay out as well.
Yeah.
So I would recommend. I like the 6-point teasers because they pay depending on the site. I got a great site, one of the few out there that still pays -110 on 2-team 6-point teasers.
Mm-hmm.
Most websites are like, or most betting options are like -120, -130.
Yeah.
So if you're going 7-point teaser, you're just going to pay a big tax on it. So I don't really recommend that there.
I think Kansas City's going to cover that, to be honest with you. It's a large number, but the Vegas does not look like the same team they were at the beginning of the season.
Yep. So Chad and I are on opposite sides of that one. Next up, we've got Dallas 4-point favorites on the road at Washington. Washington's playing a little bit better, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Washington, they kind of control their own destiny. I mean, they're in a playoff spot right now. So in terms of a motivation factor, Dallas is obviously going to be motivated as well because they're caring about playoff seeding and things like that. Washington at home, though, I don't remember the last time I said this. Those fans are going to be going nuts.
Yeah.
This is a rivalry game at home for Washington. The crowd's going to be going berserk because they've actually got an opportunity at the playoffs. I like Washington here, +4. Give me the home divisional dog getting 4 points.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same, man. I feel like this is a trap game for Dallas. They're not playing great right now. Washington +4. I'm going to take that.
Cool. And if you do want to tease that one up and go through the 7, that's not a terrible idea. And then you'd get Washington +10 at home. But I like them +4. Little money line sprinkle, I think would be wise as well on that one.
This is a shit game.
Ooh, this next one here. Oh my goodness gracious, man. We got New Orleans, 5 or 5.5 point favorites. We say or because you want to shop around and get the best number. At the Jets.
Is Zach Wilson back yet?
Zach Wilson's back, yep.
He hasn't played great.
Is that good or bad?
Yeah, who knows, man. He hasn't played great. Who gives a shit about this game, dude? I would honestly, I think I'll still take New York +5. I think they can keep it within 5.
I'm going to take the Saints to cover here. Taysom Hill, man, he's getting a lot of grief right now because he threw 4 interceptions coming into that game.
He's getting paid way too much money to not be doing shit.
True, but bro, he fucked his finger up.
Yeah.
And so he had like that same injury that Russell Wilson had that kept him out, and he played a second half with that finger. And so those 4 interceptions, like I can't.
It seems like he's always hurt though, man.
I can't credit him. Yeah, that's true. He is always getting dinged up. I saw a funny meme. It said something like, watching Taysom Hill is like watching a 10-year-old play Madden with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
It's just like run every time.
I saw that too, man. Yeah, that's so true.
Oh,
yeah,
goodness
no one
gracious.
cares about that game.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I like the under here though, because both the Jets defense, they've given up a lot of points in certain spots this year, but I still do think, believe it or not, I still do think they're actually a little bit underrated. And I think that Their defense is better than people think. I think the same thing about Saints. These are two underrated defenses. Give me under 43.5 in this Saints-Jets game.
Oh, yeah, I would take that all day long.
Yeah, especially because both quarterbacks, we don't know exactly who's going to be playing for New Orleans, I don't think, but both of them, nobody inspires you there.
It's in New York. There might be some weather there as well.
Yep, very good point. Very good point.
Another snoozer coming up here.
Oof, this is brutal. Atlanta at Carolina. Carolina's coming off a bye week.
Just fired their offensive coordinator. Probably a bit of a scapegoat right there. Yeah, he's going to be in college somewhere. I think next year is going to be Matt Rule's last year in Carolina. That was a terrible hire. I don't think it's going to look even worse by this time next year, in my opinion.
Yeah,
it's just a shit job. You know what I mean? They don't. As soon as you put all your eggs in the Sam Darnold basket, you signed your death wish. You know what I mean? It's over after that. I don't see what the hell he was thinking. They
didn't just put their eggs in the Sam Darnold basket. They traded for him.
Yeah, they
didn't. It's not like they picked him up in their free agency and paid him.
Yeah.
They gave up draft picks for this guy.
Yeah, they didn't get him, off the waiver wire or something like that. But yeah, terrible decision. That guy is not. I don't even know how the hell he's still in the league.
Yeah.
And he probably won't be for too much longer. I don't know when the hell his contract's up, but when that's up, he's probably done. I'll be honest.
Yeah. And in fairness, the trade, we got to admit, the first couple of weeks, it didn't look bad. Darnold actually looked, remember when Sam Darnold looked good the first couple weeks of the season?
But you knew that wasn't going to last.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was pretty bad. So both of these teams, like I said, they're divisional rivals. They're both 5-7. Check this out, though. Panthers have scored 236 points this year. Falcons have scored 216. So their offenses, at least with points scored, they're about even, right? Panthers are slightly better. Points allowed. Panthers, 253. Falcons, 332.
Oh, wow.
So the Falcons defense has given up 80 extra points. So I'm going to go Panthers here. I think they've got the better defense. Both of these teams got the motivation factor going on because they're both one game out of that last playoff spot.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take the home team here. I wish I had got it earlier in the week, guys. I tried to get on these numbers early, and I missed the boat on this one. You can still get it at -3. -2.5 would have been sweet, but you're not going to see that again. If anything, it's going to go up to 3.5.
Yeah, I'm going to actually take Atlanta here. I don't know why. I have no idea why. I'm just trying to be a contrarian and shit. You know what I'm saying? They're probably going to get their ass beat. But
the Atlanta argument is that it's a divisional opponent. You're getting 3 points. You could argue those are two even teams because they have the same record, so why not take the team with points?
Yeah.
But again, a motivated team at home. I'm going to take Carolina here, and I'm going to feel pretty good about it. That's going to be like one of my top 5 plays this week probably. Next up, we've got Baltimore at Cleveland. Now this one's interesting because these teams played 2 weeks ago. Cleveland has had a bye week in the middle. It's just a weird bye week sandwich. You're playing the same team essentially back to back if you take the bye week out. Just weirdness going on with the scheduling here. Cleveland's a 2.5 point favorite against Baltimore.
Which is surprising to me, even though Baltimore hasn't played that well as of late.
Neither team has.
Yeah, 2.5. Lamar Jackson had 4 interceptions in that game against Cleveland. A couple of those weren't totally his fault, but he's not playing like great right now, man.
Yep, it's true, man. And I think some people are starting to believe that Baltimore's a paper tiger.
I think they are.
They've had some wins that they shouldn't have had, and that their actual record would be way worse if the ball didn't go their way a couple times.
Yeah, I'm still taking Baltimore in this game. I have no confidence in the Browns right now. They look absolutely awful. I know the bye week will probably help Baker Mayfield a little bit, but I think he needs more than 1 week off, man. I think he needs a couple weeks off. And so I'm still going to take Baltimore on the road at Cleveland.
All right, this is going to be a little funky. I'm going to take Cleveland money line here. I think Cleveland's actually going to win this game. I think their running game can expose the Ravens defense, but I also like the Ravens teased up to 8.5. Now, y'all are like, what the hell, Tony? You're betting on both sides of this. I'm creating a middle. I'm creating an 8.5 point middle because I think this is going to be a close game. I think this is going to be probably a field goal game decided by 3, maybe 4 points. So if you can give me that 8.5 with Baltimore, I like it. But I just think Cleveland's gonna gut out this game. They're due for a surprising win.
Sure.
That team is talented, man. They've got a talented roster.
Where though? You know what I'm saying? We can run the ball. We got a good offensive line.
That's what's important in December, though, bro.
Yeah, but on the outside, we have no playmakers whatsoever. They need an influx. Then we need 3 or 4 new receivers going into next year, man.
No doubt. But
there's just no talent on the outside.
But Marlon Humphreys out for Baltimore.
Season.
Best cornerback. He's their best cornerback. This is a team. Let me tell you something. This was a team John Harbaugh said, I'm going to go for 2 against Pittsburgh. The reason he said he was going to go for 2 is because we were out of cornerbacks.
Yeah, it's not going to change going into next week. But
maybe you call someone up from the practice squad, but yeah.
But the thing is, does Cleveland have the personnel to exploit those matchups? Baker Mayfield is not playing great this year. This is a terrible season.
I would agree with you. They don't have the personnel to exploit the matchups, but do they have the personnel to do just enough?
Possibly.
When you got a good running game run? Yeah. I think it's possible. So
see, that is a must-win for Cleveland. If they have any desire to make the playoffs, we have to win that game.
I agree, and that's another reason why I like them. It's that motivation factor. I like teams when their backs are up against the wall.
Yeah,
I like teams in must-win games. I like teams coming off of games where they were blown out and they don't want to look bad again 2 weeks in a row, and the coach has been laying into them all week. I like Cleveland here.
Glad somebody does.
Again, I'm going to repeat Cleveland money line. I'm not talking point spread. I'm going to go Cleveland money line because I can see this being a 1, 2, or 3 point game. Cleveland money line, Baltimore tease. Hit that middle, baby.
We're super excited that DNP-CD Sports Podcast is presented by BetterHelp. That's betterhelp.com. This is an awesome service, man. You want to go there. This is a perfect time of year to do this too. It's the holiday season. A lot of people, have gone through the loss of a loved one. People are fighting loneliness and everything like that. That's why it's awesome to go to BetterHelp. You can do all therapy. This. Yeah, you can do all this online. It's professional therapy done online. It's not self-help. It's none of that. It's professional therapy done securely online. And you don't have to leave the comfort of your own home, man. A lot of times when you go to a therapist, you got to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room. You got people coming in and out judging you. Yeah, judging you. I wonder what's wrong with him. He looks crazy. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to deal with that. At BetterHelp, you can do all this at home. You might have to talk to your therapist about this, but you could probably do it in your drawers. You know what I mean? At least maybe put a cover over it.
FaceTime, phone call, text. They're available 24 hours. You can contact them 24 hours, and they're going to get back to you quickly.
Yeah, and this is an awesome offer that we have for our listeners. If you go to BetterHelp, that's HELP.com, you're going to get 10% off your first month of therapy when you enter our promo code DNP. That's an awesome deal, man, and this is a perfect time to do it. It's the holiday season. Everyone goes through a little blues, so to speak, nowadays during this time of year. So make sure you go to BetterHelp. That's HELP.com and enter promo code DNP to get 10% off the first month of therapy.
Next up, we got Giants 10.5-point underdogs on the road.
That's
at the
large,
Chargers.
Man. That is. I mean, I know the Giants are terrible, but 10.5. I don't think LA is that good.
Yeah, these are two teams that I think a lot of people struggle to figure out where they're at. Chargers defense is not good. They're one of the worst defenses in the NFL, particularly their run defense. I talk about it every week. But they've got playmakers on offense, and I love Justin Herbert. The Giants, man, you know what's funny? Looking at the injury report every week, the Giants never have their receivers healthy.
Yeah.
It's always like questionable, doubtful, questionable for like their top 4 receivers. I don't know that bringing in Galladay, a super injury-prone receiver, to a super injury-prone receiving core was a good idea. Yeah. You're kind of just doubling down on your issues there, if you will.
Yeah.
I'm not going to touch this point spread.
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm thinking about teasing it down, but no, I'm not going to tease it through the 7. I'm going to stay away from this game altogether. Except let me look what the total is, because I think this is going to be a high-scoring game here. Let's see what we got here. Little Giants and Chargers total.
44.5.
Oh, baby. Yes.
44 in some places.
And we're in LA, so we don't got to worry about crazy weather and shit. Yeah. Give me that over. Give me that over, baby. Over 44. I see a 44 out there too. Give me that over 44. I like it.
Yeah, I don't want to touch this game. I don't really want to touch this next game either.
Oh, boy. Oh,
Detroit at Denver.
I've already got a bet on this one.
Okay, we got Denver favored by 8. Detroit has been for the last few weeks, man. They're getting better. They're showing improvement. They've been in a lot of these games. They were in that, the tie with Pittsburgh. The next week they played Cleveland tough, which isn't saying much, and they win last week against Minnesota on the last play of the game. They're playing a lot better now. Are they going to – I think they can keep it within 8 against Denver, you know what I'm saying? I don't think Denver's great, you know what I'm saying? It's at Denver. Possibility for some weather there. There's going to be some weather. It's Denver, But 8 points is a lot, man. Even though it's Detroit. I know, what are they, 1-10-1 or some shit? But still, I'm surprised. I would take Detroit to keep this within a touchdown.
Yeah, my bet that I've got in this is I teased Denver down to 2. I see some 7.5s down here, so you can get an even better deal than I got. You can tease those 7.5s down to 1.5. That is a really great play. I do not see Detroit winning 2 straight games. I do not see Detroit winning a road game. I do not see Detroit winning in a tough home environment like Denver, that high altitude. That's a young team, y'all. There's going to be guys on that roster who have never played in Denver before, who have never experienced that altitude before. So I like Denver money line. I like Denver tees down a lot. I would lean a Denver cover here, but I don't like it nearly as much as I like those other 2 options.
Yeah, 8's a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Remember we talk about the backdoor cover a lot.
Speaking of which, we got a backdoor Burrow up.
That's the next game here. Yeah. Hey, before we go to that next game though, Chad, I need to remind people about Mr. Small Hands.
Oh yeah, Jared Goff.
And how
and the weather.
And how if that game does have, so earlier I said the wind is what impacts the over-under. If there's precipitation, that's what impacts Jared Goff because he has tiny hands and he fumbles all the time. Not only does he fumble and is he turnover prone when there's precipitation, but he just can't grip the ball. You can see it. It's like he's a different quarterback.
He got like middle school hands and shit.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's bad, man.
He probably got a little wiener too.
It's bad.
Got the little baby hands, you know.
They say there's a correlation, dog. They say there's a correlation.
His wife probably ain't too happy either. She's like, yeah, tell me about it. Small hands, huh? Yeah. That can be extrapolated if you know what I mean.
Oh, good. They talked about this coming out of the draft. They talked about this for him, that this was going to be a struggle in these weather games. This was a knock on him. And just go back, just go look at the numbers yourself. It's actually hilarious how
his
bad
wife
he
probably
is with his
buys so many vibrators, dog. His wife probably got just like a drawer, like a dresser full of. It's like, oh, is that your got like a walk-in closet, obviously, because he's all rich and shit. Like, oh, is that like your panty drawer? She's like, no, this is my vibrator drawer. Mr. Small Hands over there, can't satisfy a woman.
Oh, this poor guy's getting crushed today.
Oh, yeah, he getting. Oh. Hey, you know what? Fuck Jared.
There's someone who's never coming on the show. Thanks, Chad.
Yeah, well, he's got a lisp anyway, so I don't know that he would do good on the show, to be honest with you.
Oh, goodness.
Parents should have got that shit fixed.
Good.
Dog, hey, dog, I'm just telling you. You know what I'm saying? You got to get the lisp fixed. You can't have small hands and a lisp. You know what I mean?
That's a struggle. That's a struggle.
But he is a millionaire, so.
He's doing all right. He's doing all right. All right, next game up, we've got San Francisco. 1 point dog on the road at Cincinnati. All right, here's the thing. You got to look at the injuries in this game.
Some even some places, but yeah.
Yeah, good point. It's a pick'em. It's a pickup in one place. Pick'em in one place. 2 places I see, actually. Good call, Chad. That's why you got to shop around. If you like the 49ers here, obviously take the +1. If you like Cincinnati, take the pick'em. I think there's going to be a lot of movement in this line. Keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on the injuries. 49ers' best defensive player, Fred Warner, questionable. We're not sure if he's going to play. 49ers' best offensive weapon, Deebo Samuel. We're not sure if he's going to play. Here's what we do know. The 49ers are going to be without Emmanuel Sanders, their best remaining cornerback. And I don't like the idea of either of the remaining cornerbacks for the 49ers. They've got 2 rookies and Josh Norman going up against Jamar Chase.
Oh, Jesus.
That is terrifying. They're going to have to double Jamar Chase. It's going to open up opportunities. Now, the only saving grace that the 49ers have here is that they've got a dominant pass rush, and Cincinnati's offensive line is bad.
Yeah.
Real bad.
And Cincinnati is wildly inconsistent and has been this year.
True.
Much like a lot of other teams that are in the same playoff race and the same record, so to speak, in the same arena with their record. So, yeah.
So, also, Burrow hurt his finger last week. He played through it.
Aww.
Not quite as bad as the other finger injuries that we've talked about so far in this show. But we'll see, especially if, there's weather in this game. Gripping that ball with an injured finger is not going to be fun. Yeah. I like Cincinnati here.
I like Cincinnati as well.
I like Cincinnati here. Just that matchup with the cornerbacks scares me a lot. Now, if later in the week I hear Deebo Samuel's in, Fred Warner's in, and maybe there's a nice little injury or two for Cincinnati, and the line is the same, I might jump on it before the line moves. But I'm telling you, the Bengals are going to score points in this game. I would maybe look at what the Bengals team total is, and I might bet that because I think that's going to go over. And then let me look here and see what the over-under is on this game, because this is going to be a nice opportunity to potentially hit the over here as well. Again, keep an eye on the weather, but 47.5. I was hoping it might be a little lower than that. I probably won't touch that. But
yeah, I wouldn't either.
Bengals team total for sure. I'm telling you, the Niners secondary is going to be bad next week. Real bad.
We got a decent game here coming up. Buffalo at Tampa Bay.
Yeah, two powerhouses. Buffalo's coming off a disappointing loss. Weather game against the Patriots on Monday Night Football. So Buffalo's got short rest. Tampa Bay's got an extra day of rest. They're coming off of a whooping against Atlanta. That was actually not as close as the score looked.
Yeah.
Tom Brady threw that real easy interception. He literally just gave Tampa Bay 7 points just by making a dumb mistake that he's rarely ever going to do. He's not going to do that again in this game. So that game was kind of more of a blowout. The over is something to look at here, man.
Yeah, 3. I can't believe that spread is so small, honestly. I would expect that to be like closer to 5 or 6. But I'm taking Tampa Bay at home, 3 points. Yeah, I think they're going to cover that.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Tampa Bay is clicking right now. They're starting to get healthy.
As they do when you got a quarterback like Tom Brady. You know, it's getting down to the stretch run. He's ready to go.
Exactly. The defense is starting to get a little healthier as well. Antonio Brown, no Antonio Brown because of his suspension. That's something interesting we haven't talked about yet. But they're going to be all right. I don't know if we're
allowed to be honest.
Yeah, no, we can't say the C word.
We don't mean. I'm not going to say.
That's the other C word we can't. Well,
we can say that word. You know what I'm saying?
All right, Tampa Bay. It's 3 and 3.5. I'll take Tampa Bay -3. I don't like them -3.5.
Yeah, same.
Green Bay opened at 11. They're now 12.5 point favorites.
That's a large spread.
At home against Chicago. Remember, this game's got maybe a little bit extra drama in it because remember the first 2 times these teams played and Aaron Rodgers yelled into the stadium, into the fans, "I own you."
Yeah, he does.
That might have been a little bulletin board material for Chicago. Provide a little extra motivation. Allen Robinson missed last week's game for Chicago, so they're a little bit banged up. They've been banged up along their defensive line. Obviously, I like I like Green Bay here to win the game outright. I don't like them 12.5. I can't bet on either team with this big point spread.
Yeah, that's massive, man. 12.5 is huge and shit. But at the same time, Green Bay's going to win this game. I just don't know if they're going to win by 2 touchdowns, But Chicago, I don't know if they want to play for Matt Nagy, man. This dude is he's good as gone by the time the season's over. I won't be surprised if he gets shit canned with a couple weeks left and just giving them an interim coach. But he's not long for Chicago, man.
Yeah, and I usually like these divisional dogs getting that many points, but I can't. I got no trust in Chicago.
You can't. You have the Khalil Max out for the season. You got to think about motivation for this team.
Yep.
Do they even want to play for Nagy? Do they even like this guy? I would say no. But that is way, way large, man. I would stay away from this line.
Yeah, agreed. Last game. Oh, wait, does that mean that Chicago Green Bay game is Sunday night? It's going to be a brutal Sunday night game, man.
Who knows, man? It's Lambeau. You never know.
Yeah, it'd be fun if it's snowy or something.
Yeah.
But, all right, last game. Rams 3-point dogs on the road at Arizona. Dude, Arizona just hasn't looked vulnerable all year, man. They've just been dominant. You can take out their best players.
They look like the best team.
They still play. Yeah, man, they do. They look like the best team in the NFL. This is despite, Kyler Murray's back, DeAndre Hopkins is back, but remember, J.J. Watt's been out. This team's been banged up.
That dude's always out, though. That's not even a headline, dude. That dude's always hurt.
It's not a surprise.
Yeah, it's not.
But my point is that they're overcoming the injuries. Yeah. That's impressive.
But yeah, I agree with you completely on that. But J.J. Watt is not one of those. You have to factor that in, the fact when you sign him, he's gonna play 6 to 8 games in a season, if that. This is one of the reasons why I didn't want the Browns to get him. I was happy with Clowney, with them getting Clowney instead of him, because I knew damn well he's not going to finish the season. When's the last time he's finished the season?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's been a while.
It's true.
Or when he hasn't missed 6 or 7 games.
And it's a longer season now, too.
Yeah. So there was no way in hell he was going to finish this season. That didn't surprise me whatsoever. People need to get up off his jockstrap, dog, because he's always hurt. This dude's always hurt, man.
Yeah.
So he's not out. He was out before. If you would have told me, September 1st, oh, by the way, the Rams and the Cardinals are going to be playing. Like, oh, yeah, well, we already know J.J. Watt's not going to be playing in that game. We know that for a fact, But this is going to be the game of the week, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Rams at Rams at Cardinals. I'm kind of surprised that line isn't a point or 2 higher, to be honest with you. 3.
Yeah, I just think the division familiarity is probably what's keeping it a little bit tighter. But I agree with you. At first glance, it kind of makes you.
It's almost like a pick 'em because you get 3 points at home. It's, the unwritten rule of betting is that you get 3 points at home.
Yep.
And so it's kind of almost like a pick 'em. I'm surprised that's not like 4 or 5, to be honest. But I'm taking Arizona, man. Like until someone can beat them. Even with Colt McCoy, if you're winning games with Colt McCoy as your quarterback, you got a good team.
Yeah, man, I just don't have a good feel because the Rams looked so bad. You know, they haven't looked good after acquiring Von Miller. But then they beat the Jaguars, and it's like, yeah, but they're the Jaguars. Yeah. So how much credit do you give them for that? I will probably live bet this game and see how the Rams look in the first quarter, but I'm not going to touch this game pre-flop. I can't do it.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Great week, though. Week 14 is going to be a lot of fun.
We're going to find out so
many
much
playoff implications. Chad, I love this whole additional playoff team in the AFC, additional playoff team in the NFC. It
so
opens stuff up. There's all these teams that would not have a prayer right now that are actually playing for something this week. It's going to be great.
And it's keeping people interested in the games and everything. We're going to find out a lot about the playoff race with all these teams this week because this is a big week, man. It's December football. You know, so
absolutely.
This is when it gets down to the nitty gritty. We're going to find out about these teams, who's for real, who's not.
For sure.
A lot of, big time games this week. It's going to determine the rest of the season, who's playing for next year and who's still got a shot.
Yeah, and Chad, it's always fun talking to you about NFL games, about college football games. If you guys enjoyed this, tell your friends what we're doing. We're making you some money out there. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on iTunes, wherever you get your podcast. Follow us on Twitter at DNP-CD Show. Follow us everywhere else, Facebook, Instagram, etc. at DNP-CD Sports.
I don't know if I'm making people money, but I know you are. I ain't making people shit.
I'm 10 games over 500 against the spread on Twitter.
Oh, wow.
And we're going to start putting those picks in the newsletter. So also go to hotpiemedia.com and sign up for our newsletter because right now, I'm going to be real with you. The newsletter is nothing too special, but it's going to be awesome in a couple weeks here.
Yeah, you're going to have all these picks in there, man. It's going to help people make some money and shit.
Exactly. You guys can tail my picks if you want. And then you got someone to be mad at if you lose.
Yeah, send those complaints to Tony Farmer at hotmail.com.
I love it. Thanks so much for listening, you guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Give us a follow on all the social media platforms. Please tell your friends about the show. Please rate the show. Share it. You can give us a review on iTunes, on Spotify, all that reviews. Stuff. We would greatly appreciate it. This is a fun week, man. Looking forward to all these games and everything like that. It's going to be awesome, man. So we appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for listening. For next week, we'll see you guys next week. For Tony, I am Chad. Peace out.
Thanks for listening. You can find more episodes and all of our other Hot Pie Media originals baked fresh daily at our home online at hotpiemedia.com, the Hot Pie Media YouTube channel, or wherever you listen to podcasts.